Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I'm Ben Stockwell and I'm fortunate to be joined by Ronnie Silva, a member of the Adelphi men's basketball team. Ronnie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you on here. First off, how are you doing here in the beginnings of 2021?
I've been doing pretty well. Just been home since everybody went home for break and just spending time with my mom. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to still train and, still work out and whatnot. So everything's with family is going good too. Thank God.
Oh, nice. That is good to hear. And for you, when do you head back to campus for your for second semester?
I head back this Sunday.
Nice. And for you, you did mention you're home right now. Where is home for you?
Where's home for me? I'm
Yeah,
in Nashua, New Hampshire.
National Header. And
That's where I'm located.
where'd you go to high school?
I went to Nashua High School North, which is public school in Nashua, in my city. And then my junior year, I ended up going to prep school called Bradford Christian Academy in Haverhill, Massachusetts. And I reclassified in my junior year. And I spent 2 years at Bradford.
Now, was that for kind of basketball recruiting purposes or just trying to get more exposure in that sense?
Yes, it was more for basketball and getting an extra year of playing.
Yeah, we mentioned the basketball. So what was that recruiting process like for you, being from Nashua, going to, school in Haverhill? What was that like to end up at Adelphi?
It was a blessing, honestly. Leaving North, at Nashua High School North, I was getting a lot of looks from a lot of D3s locally. So like Keene State, Plymouth State, but I was trying to see if I can, get a full scholarship or have the opportunity to do so. And the opportunity of going to prep school coming around, I thought it was a great idea for me to explore that. And after my junior year of prep school, as well as my last year of AAU, playing in the AAU circuit in the summer, I was able to get 3 scholarship offers. I got my first one was from Damon College in Buffalo, which was first like not a full scholarship, but a majority scholarship. And then I got my second offer from Adelphi. And then I got my third and last offer was from Mercyhurst. And, I was just fortunate to be able to have options and to have had scholarship opportunities, after my junior year of play. And, it was a blessing. And I chose Adelphi because I felt like it was the right place for me.
You talk about that, and we've talked about fit in some of these other podcasts. What was it about Adelphi that really, kind of sold you ultimately, besides the scholarship aspect, but just the other
Yes.
aspects of the school that sold you on going to go there?
Well, I felt like for just every aspect in terms of education, the basketball, the style of play, the feel for the school, like in the campus or whatnot. So start with education. They have the sports management program, which for me, I'm not gonna lie. Going into college, I didn't know what I wanted to be, what I wanted to major in yet. And sometimes it takes time for people, but like for me, I didn't know if I had a few things in mind, but they've always mentioned that the sports management program, like, was really strong there. And, there's a lot of connections, a lot of relationships that you can get from that program. And, I'm starting to see that now in my junior year, which is a great major. And I'm just so like happy to be studying in this field, as well as, so the basketball side. I just really love what Coach Duke and the Adelphi culture and what they were having and what was going on in the culture and their style of play, playing fast, of course, and just everything about like the culture. Being from New Hampshire, I'm just used to like really like a small city, townish kind of area. But being in New York and being near the city was just like a totally different experience for me. But I loved it, because it was just something new and just a new scene for me. And I loved it. I embraced it. And it was just, and I'm just so happy that I've gotten to get to that point.
So, going back to the major a bit, you talked about sport management major. Weren't quite sure, but you seem like you really enjoyed it. So, what have you really enjoyed the most about your major through your first 2.5 years of school?
I think my professors. just having, them having that experience in the field, just in sports, whether it's working for a sports team or, any businesses related towards sports or being an agent or whatnot. Just having these individual conversations with my professor. One of them is Greg Boris, and he is also my advisor as well for my classes. And just conversations with people like him and the people in my major, just really opening up my mind and seeing which path is best for me, and all their help and advice really helps.
Kind of related to that, are there any clubs or organizations you're involved in?
I'm not involved in an official, say, like club, but I do, which is something all of the basketball players at Adelphi do, or every sports program. We do this thing called Selfless Sundays, or in our preseason, which is just really just a lot of community service, giving back to the community, and going to hospitals, visiting children's hospitals, and just giving back and whatnot. And that's a tradition we do every preseason. So that's something that I take pride in and I really enjoy doing.
Similar to that, I would say, is there a hobby or an interest or a passion you have outside of basketball and school right now?
Honestly, I'm just starting to get in to reading more books. Honestly, I used to not like reading growing up, but just as I've grown, I just feel like just applying as much knowledge as you can, just educating yourself as much as possible is so important, and it helps you evolve, as a person and be a better person. So, just me getting into reading more, and I don't know. I just feel like I'm always I'm a very curious person. I love learning just new things. You know what I mean? So whether it be through reading, watching different documentaries and whatnot, just love learning. And other than playing the game, I also love learning outside of the game. Any watching film or just anything about the game of basketball. I don't know. It's just that's my passion is playing the game.
Nice. Are there any books you've read in the last year that you have really kind of stuck with you at all specifically?
Yes. The one that stuck with me the most, and probably for the rest of my life, was reading the autobiography of Muhammad Ali, and it was just a life-changing experience just reading that book, and really opening my eyes up to the thoughts and the feelings of such a great man, great athlete in Muhammad Ali, and just his way of thinking and his way of looking at life was very inspiring for me. And I, tend to, implement that in my life. So I really gained a lot of inspiration from that. And also the Kobe Bryant autobiography as well. Just his dedication. As you see, I like a lot of autobiographies. But I've also been reading another book called The African People in World History by John Henry Clark. I've also been reading that as well. It's right near my bed because I'm still reading it. But just reading as much that I can, trying to learn and make it like a hobby of mine outside of basketball, because I do enjoy just playing the game. That's really my only hobby, I would say.
That's all right. I can totally relate. I'm a basketball fan myself, so the game's addicting like that. You guys were able to finish your season. You unfortunately, didn't get that bid to the NCAA tournament, just on the outside. But what was the 2019-20 season like for you guys at Adelphi last year?
I thought it was a good season. It was obviously not the season that we wanted. We had high hopes and high expectations for our team, and we came up short, obviously. But you can also look at it as more like a learning experience, learning process. Losing in the first round was really disappointing, obviously because of our expectations, and we wanted to win a championship. But you just got to just learn from it, and keep growing and keep improving as a team, and come back stronger the next year.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. For you as a basketball player, you're a point guard. You're one of the smaller guys in the conference as an all-conference player. When you came on as a freshman, I feel like you definitely kind of burst on the scene, and people may not have expected you to have as much success as you did. I'm sure you did. What was that like coming into the NE10, where you are one of the smaller guys and still finding ways to contribute and score and, lead your team to some wins?
I would say just looking, say, at my height, a lot of people look at it as a challenge or a disadvantage compared to other players, but I look at it as an advantage. I might lack in size and length, but what I excel in is, speed, quickness, and, just using my strengths to bring the best out of my team and help my team win. And say my first year, I was just really blessed to have seniors on the team and players on the team that really accepted me in and just brought me in and really taught me the game and, taught me about the difference between high school and college and really just helping me grow as a player. And I appreciate that year with my teammates like Connor McGinnis, Jack Laffey, and Nick Cambio. Those guys really took me in as their freshmen, and just taught me and I learned so much from them, and I appreciate them so much for that. And every teammate that I had is like a brother to me. I appreciate them so much and just helping me grow as a person, letting me make my mistakes and allowing me to do so.
For you, when you get the ball, either if you rebound it, someone else rebounds, shoots it out to you, you guys are kind of a running gun team. How are you deciding whether to, dish it off or whether you're just going to stick a 3-pointer right in, your defender's face from, 25 feet? What's going through your mind there?
Really just pushing it as fast as I can over that half court. There's a little rule in the program for point guards, say, or ball handlers. If we get a missed shot or even on a make, we're trying to push the ball over the half court line in 2 seconds. It's not 2 seconds. That's in practice, it's a turnover. Just that idea of just pushing it and using speed to our advantage, playing fast is just, that's our philosophy and just getting the best look that we can off of it, but we do want to play fast and we embrace playing fast because that is how we play.
So what would you say is your favorite thing about playing basketball?
Just the game itself and the process, I love learning, like I said before, and I'm a very curious person, always trying to improve on my game. So it's just the process of playing and playing with a team and learning every player and just playing. Honestly, I love playing and progressing each day. That's just what I thrive on.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense for sure. Were there any other sports that you played growing up besides basketball before you kind of focused in on just basketball?
Oh, yes. So me being Brazilian, my first sport was soccer, and I still love soccer to this day. And then it was basketball. Just looking back at it, I was just, like a kid, loving to play any sport, if it was soccer, it was kickball, whatever,
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Fun.
Yeah. You kind of some quick hitters here now. Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions before your games?
I wouldn't say I'm a superstitious person, but I know people that have their own little things. Like I gotta do this before the game every time or whatnot. But I would say one thing that I do before every game, I do pray every game, before every game.
Who's a professional athlete you look up to or admire?
I would have to say Allen Iverson. Of course, that's the reason why I wear number 3 for sure. And I wasn't old enough to watch him in his prime, when he was MVP of the league and this big star. I got to catch him more toward the later end of his career. I would say my earliest memory of me really playing basketball and loving the game was, watching a bunch of YouTube highlight videos of, NBA players. And really the first one was Allen Iverson and seeing his crossover and the AI crossover. And I remember just going to the boys club as a kid on my own, or at the park on my own and just trying to do that move over and over and over again, just because I loved just watching, and it was just so exciting to watch, say, his highlights or games of his on YouTube, and I would say he definitely inspired me, and I would say a lot of people like, say that they were inspired by Allen Iverson from like, smaller guard standpoint because he was just that great.
Yeah, he was a great player, and he definitely changed the game for a lot of people. And you
Right.
talked about really kind of getting into books, but are there any kind of TV shows or movies that maybe you consider like guilty pleasures that you enjoy?
My favorite show of all time is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's no question. If I could catch that on TV anytime, like I'll watch it. That's my fave show. Like that's my show right there. But other than shows, I really like watching like documentaries too. On say like different athletes or artists, musicians or whatnot, or just anything really, like any documentary. It could be on animals or history. Like I like watching documentaries too.
Nice. For you, what's your favorite meal or place to eat when you're at school at Adelphi, either on campus or one of the restaurants right around campus?
I would say this place called the Guac Shop near Adelphi, which is more like a Mexican food. It's just so good over there. Like it's a really good spot.
Nice. And then, conversely, what would you say, when you get home from Adelphi after a semester, what's the first meal you want to have when you're back in Nashville, either at a restaurant or something your mom made, something that's just like, oh, I'm home now?
Oh, my mom's cooking first and foremost. That's because that's what I'm gonna miss. That's what I miss the most at school. Is just that home cooked meal. And honestly, like just anything my mom makes, like I'm just like I mean that because I love food. So anything but if I were to say one plate, I would say my mom's like just rice and steak. It's very simple, but like you just can't go wrong with it. And it's just my mom's cooking, home cooked meals. Like you just can't go wrong with it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally get you on that one. And finally, what's something you hope to accomplish in 2021?
I would say just continue to learn, continue to be the best version, of myself each day and be a better student, better basketball player, better friend, just better person overall. Also going into this year, just being really like just on a mindset level, just being really grateful because as we all know, 2020 was a really hard year, but just appreciating life, itself, and each day is a blessing, So just having that mindset and just thanking God every day when I wake up, and appreciating each day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. I believe you on that one. Well, Ronnie, I really want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me today, and good luck with your second semester, and hopefully the rest of your junior year goes really well.
Thank you so much, Ben, for this opportunity. I appreciate it, and it was an honor to do this. Thank you so much.